Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. On the Bitcoin charts, we start to take a look at the daily charts because it's Saturday, but not much happened. We do that regularly anyway. Just want to briefly mention where we are, and then we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart as well, which is getting quite interesting, to be honest. I think it's worth to be aware of it. On the daily chart, however, really no change at all. So we are still most likely caught in the current wave 4 correction. It's Saturday. Typically Saturdays are slow, but most recently they have become quite interesting. So it's not necessarily too surprising to see a little bit of action on a Saturday. We start to see altcoins go up today. That's pretty much in line with the Bitcoin dominance chart that we've been tracking, and we talk about that in a minute. Please, everybody needs to be aware of it so that you're not surprised. Looking here at the Bitcoin chart, we have still this ongoing situation that we're in a correction, hovering just below the important 78.6 retrace level extension at 43K, which I would call also pretty much the next breakout point. I mean, we need to get above that level to move towards the next main Fib level, not necessarily the 88.7. That is somewhat relevant, but the 50K level is also the 100% Fibonacci extension of the move down here that occurred. So that's going to be an important one. That's the main Fib level. And I would like to see the price get there before I call circle wave 3 in the white wave count finished, after which another shallow pullback should occur, or wave A finished in the yellow count. So that means, in other words, both of these are actually moving together short term, and really only after the next high I would like to, or I think we have the next main decision point. Okay, the next main decision point will come because the market should decide then between the white count and the yellow one. Of course, it can always break down earlier, but probabilities would suggest that we get one more high in both wave counts. That one more high could send us into the 50K region. And then it's all about, deciding between here waves 4 and waves 4 and B, really. Now, the B wave can allow for a deeper pullback. The advantage with these two wave counts is that we will be able to test the support level for wave 4 first, which is the more directly bullish count. If the support breaks, we can get some really good clarity that we are actually in the yellow count. That's the advantage because they are so different, these counts. So we will be able to distinguish between them quite well. At the moment, they are actually moving together. So in both wave counts, I would like to see them follow the same short-term scenario, which is why for both of them, the $34,060 level is the key support. Zooming in, it looks as if this current correction is still unfolding. We're tracking here an ABC structure. We've been doing that all week. I mentioned to you that it will likely take a week or so, at least this week, and that's certainly come true, this correction. There's no sign that the correction is currently over. So let's move on to the Bitcoin dominance chart. We look at that every week, basically. And this is now getting interesting. Can you see that? I mean, look at the watch list here. We see cryptos go up today, altcoins especially. Whereas Bitcoin, not really. That's sort of a situation in which we typically start to see altcoins move. If Bitcoin, obviously, after Bitcoin has moved significantly, which it has, Bitcoin is typically leading the way, then Bitcoin is starting to consolidate, and some of that, liquidity is moving into altcoins. Okay, so some of that liquidity is moving into altcoins, and we have, for example, the Bitcoin dominance chart here go down as well. It's still holding a trend line there, but if that trend line breaks, then I would definitely be watching for a potential alt season to start. That could be the beginning of a downtrend, especially if the last swing low is broken as well. So obviously the break of the trend line would be a first indication. Better would be a break below the last swing low. I mean, nothing is ever guaranteed, right? But it would be a strong confirmation that this uptrend is over, because let's be honest here, since September last year, this has been a pretty stable uptrend. characterized by higher highs and higher lows. And this is one of the largest red candles that we've had now on the 4-day chart. Actually, I can go to the daily chart, I get a bit more detail, but this is really just to track the development here. Yeah, there is a lot of downside pressure here right now. There's also no significant reaction to the trend line. Now, a short break, no problem. I mean, trend lines are rarely that precise. We briefly broke below it here. That was in October, 1st of October, end of September, recovered quickly. So for additional confirmation, we might want to see here this last swing low break at around 51.6 cents. We also have a bearish divergence that actually has started to build already in June. So it's a pretty solid signal that a trend reversal can occur. And obviously we've been watching for that. So we shouldn't be surprised if suddenly an altcoin season starts. We have reached that resistance area. So this is high alert for a reversal and an altcoin season. Last Sunday in our member live stream, we talked about the alt season and so on, and what we need to watch out for an alt season to start, how to prepare for it. So everybody should be prepared who wants to be prepared. Just be ready, okay? It's too early to confirm an alt season, but obviously there is nobody going to stand there, as I always say, with a bell to say, okay, the top is in Bitcoin dominance, the altcoin season is starting. There is no real starting point. But for me, obviously, it would be, when we start to accelerate this downtrend here, and then something similar could happen to like early 2021, I think this chart would have a similar potential, maybe even more aggressively, because it would be a third wave. Now, again, Elliott waves and Bitcoin dominance, it's a bit questionable, because this is not dollar amounts, there is a limit to what you can do, so you can't really use FIB extensions, it's only 0 to 100%, but we can track, we can use some structures, or we can use Elliott Wave to track some structures, get a general idea of sentiment. And this here was a nice flat structure, expanded flat. As I said, extensions don't really help us much, even though, and that's pretty cool, it actually reached the 1.618 extension, which is a common target for a C wave. No, it's actually reached a 1.786. So it's actually even a little bit beyond what the C wave should do. So it's pretty much extended, and the wave count is full as well. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, normally what we had historically was that Ether, Bitcoin, then Ether, then large cap altcoins. I might be a bit different this time. I don't know, everybody waits for Ether to kick off, and I think Ether should outperform Bitcoin as well. But, nobody says that this historic flow of money needs to go the same way. Historically, it used to be Bitcoin, Ether, and then altcoins. Whereas, why not, in a different sequence, maybe. Okay, let's look at short term. Here, however, really not much happened. Bitcoin caught in this correction. And as I said, when Bitcoin is moving, leading the way, then it consolidates. That's when some of the excess liquidity moves into altcoins. I'm quite happy to see altcoins go up because a lot of them were still supposed to go up. So let's see, I will cover that in the individual altcoin videos. But we're probably still caught in this correction. And the way this is going, I mean, one more low gives us 5 waves down. It could be a signal that the wave C is starting. It looks less and less as if we're getting another extension higher. Okay, but I keep the door open because we haven't taken out any swing low. But that triangle shape there indicates that the price could also be unfolding as some kind of a B wave triangle. This B wave could just be a triangle and then come down. It has a substantial size now, so I'm quite happy with it. B wave triangles exist, and that's absolutely acceptable. Okay, so that's why we've got these trend lines here as well to indicate that. But yeah, I mean, correction still ongoing. No signal that the correction is over. With a triangle, obviously the market is in a balance of forces state. So it doesn't really know what to do. So also I can't tell you, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. In this correction, what I can tell you though is that we still expect a C wave. Now, if that happens more directly with a move to the downside, or if that means we go up first and then come down, I mean, that is what the market will have to show us. Overall, the situation is that we would still like to see that C wave to the downside into the support region between $34,070 to $39,260. And yeah, surely it could go up first in this C wave of Y and then see a reaction there and come down. That would be a bit of a fake out, really nasty movement. But we wouldn't be too surprised by it, at least. Well, the move down would be a pretty direct move and probably wave B unfolded as a triangle then. For a B wave triangle, we need a few more waves, however, to call it complete. Even though, actually, it could be nearly complete. It could be nearly complete, so just be watching for it, you know. A break out of the trend line to the downside would be a good indication that the triangle, I think, is broken. Obviously, taking out those swing lows, even better confirmation. 41,430 would be good indication. And then if we obviously take out this swing low here at 40,200, that would be confirmation, and we should be moving into that support region. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.